is because you can end up clipping the tarmac piece here, whereas in this game it's after it for this next one because it's a long left-hander and it's downhill as well. Hey guys, I do apologize for this guide coming out a little later than usual. I'll have a pinned comment letting you guys know why. This guide will take you on a slow lap around the circuit, giving you guys all the details, and then I'll show you a full hot lap so that you can get a better feel for how to tackle this circuit at full speed. So let's get started. Okay, so I just started a lap. You just want to take a wider line, I guess, just to carry as much speed down to turn 1, open up the DRS course, and then you're starting a lap here at Brazil. Now for this year's game, 8th gear going into the corner. Usually you would want to keep the car as wide as possible, but I actually recommend doing this, just staying on the tarmac, braking just after the 50-meter board on the soft compounds. Reason why I say that is because you can end up clipping the grass, which will mess your tires up and you'll go wide into turn 1, which you don't want. So yeah, 4th gear going into this corner now. And you want to make sure that the car is placed around about here. You want to make sure that your left-hand tires are sort of in the middle of the white, green, and yellow curb here. This is just to get the car rotated without rotating the car too much to the point where you end up losing the rear. Then you want to keep it in 4th for this one. For turn 2, just get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can, really. You want to make sure that you're using as much of the curb for turn 2 as possible. Short shift up to 5th gear just to stabilize the rear. You want to use as much of the track as possible, so pretty much up until this sort of like turquoisey curbing there. And then just use all of the track on the exit. Keep the car as close to the curb as you possibly can. Make sure that it's just one smooth motion through turn 3 so that you're not scrubbing off any speed. And then you open up DRS and you're going down to turn 4. Turn 4, quite a tricky corner, just because they've changed the way that the meter boards are slightly from F1 2021. So in F1 2021, I believe the 100 meter board was before the tarmac piece here, whereas in this game it's after it. So yeah, usually you want to brake in between just where the tarmac ends and the 100 meter board. If you so dare, you can brake at the 100 meter board if you're pretty good at braking. I think I broke at the 100 meter board when it came to my lap as well. Down into 5th gear, then you want to use the curbing with your left hand tires once again. Similar for turn 1, you want to basically help rotate the car. You get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can. You just have to risk it and use as much of the track as you possibly can. The white line is the track limits here and not the actual curbing itself, so you do want to be careful there. Can invalidate pretty easily. And then take this curbing quite tight there. And then for this corner, quite tricky, but you want to brake 8th gear just before the 50-meter board. Then you don't want to spam down to 6th. You want to do it slowly, so you want to do 1 gear down to 7th and then another one down to 6th. I've noticed that I lose a little bit of time throughout this corner when I spam down to 6th rather than just going slowly through the gears down to 6th gear here. Get your foot back on the throttle, be as tight as you possibly can here, and then open up the car so that you're using as much of the curbing as possible on the exit here. And then bring the car back onto the tarmac, brake around about here. So as you're getting to this Qatar sort of logo here, the big one, that's when you want to start braking. In 6th gear, down into 3rd gear, and then just use all the curb that you can, rotate the car. Keep turning on the exit because the exit can tighten up very, very quickly for this next one, and you do want to have an open car for this next one because it's a long left-hander and it's downhill as well. So keep turning the car, and then as you get to the middle of the track, that's when you'll sort of want to lift off the throttle. You don't want to brake for this corner like you would in previous games. So you just let the car just roll through this corner. So in 3rd gear, let the car roll through this corner and then short shift up to 4th gear, get back on the throttle smoothly. You want to be quite soft here because it's going from downhill to uphill. It can give you a little bit of wheel spin, which can spin the car if you're too aggressive with the throttle. So you want to be as soft initially and then just slowly bring the throttle up to 100% using all the curbing there on the exit. You're going to be in 5th gear for the next corner. I like to try and brake as late as possible for this one. So around about here, just before you get to the grass on the left hand side is where you want to brake. Try braking a straight line in 5th. And then you want to use 4th gear for this corner. Try and turn in a bit later so that you can get on the throttle slightly earlier here. So you want to hit the apex around about here. And then use 4th gear to try and just pick up the throttle as soon as you can. Try not to get on the curb because that can slow down your throttle process as it can give you wheel spin. So you want to be on traction on the tarmac. And then you want to short shift, well not short shift, but you want to shift up the gears through this section. Take a tight line through there. And then for the final corner, you're going to be in 7th gear. There's no meter boards for this corner, like there is, I believe, in real life and on the previous game. So you don't want to brake on the, or you don't want to brake on the grass bit on this gear's game. It will bottom out the car. You'll lock up and you'll go wide. So the Rolex sign, the final Rolex sign, is the braking point for this corner in 7th gear. Brake as you get to it in a straight line. Span down to 4th, and then you don't want to hit the curb. You're not necessarily going to lose too much time, but you can lose, you know, half a temp here or there if you take the curb and you end up, you know, unsettling the car. So it's best to just get as close to it as possible without actually hitting it, and then just again try and get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can. Use all of the track possible on the exit. Be careful though, because you can get wheel spin on the right hand side due to the fact that you are on the curbs. And then you just take the shortest line to the finish line. And that's the lap of Brazil. Very short but technical lap. So what I'm going to do now is play the actual hot lap that I managed to get so that you can see how to tackle this circuit at full speed. So that is how you get better at the Interlagos circuit at Brazil. Make sure to click here to go through to the playlist of all the other track guides that I've done up until this point, and I'll see you guys over there.